Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Unorthodox Vegan. My name is Sean Gold and today we're going to make meatballs. Now, I've been playing around with the recipe for a while. I couldn't find a recipe I really liked and just tried to wing it, trying to put some stuff together. And I came up with some things that were okay, not great. But what I really wanted to do is I wanted to make sure I was replicating some of the nutritional value of meat. Now, there is some nutritional value, I hate to say it, but there's something that we don't get normally through normal plant-based foods. So I was trying to figure out what is the best way. And wheat gluten, which I used for the jerky, is amazing. And I've started using that for all kinds of things. I love it. It has most of the amino acids found in regular meat. But what is missing in wheat gluten was a key amino acid. I don't remember the name of it, which one it was, but it's irrelevant. What I did find is that it was found in, or it can be found in tofu. So you could actually have a meal with that has tofu in it and a meal that has the wheat gluten in it, and you're getting all of the nutrients. I thought, why not make a meat product, or meatball in this case, which has both. So I tried playing around with it, putting all the ingredients into a food processor, adding in some wheat gluten until it got nice and doughy, and then made that rolled it into little balls and cooked that up, and it was fine, but it was a little doughy texture. I didn't quite happy with it. I put it into an air fryer afterwards, and that got it a little bit better. But it's still chewy, but not the texture. So I thought, well, let's not put everything into the food processor. Let's put most of the stuff in the food processor, and then add some stuff in afterwards, and just mix it in. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to be using the wheat gluten and some onions and mushrooms, which is part of the base, which I'm putting into the food processor with some nutritional yeast. And for liquid, I'll be putting in some soy sauce, apple cider vinegar, and ketchup. And then once I get that into a dough or the right consistency that I think is reasonable to start with, then I'll be mixing in some additional onions and some Eve's hamburger meat. Now, Eve's, it makes a plant-based hamburger, and this is just a regular grind, and I'm using half a package of that, so it's about 200 grams of that. I am using about 200 grams of extra firm tofu, which I've just chopped up here. I'm using a whole onion, but 3/4 of it is going into the processor with about 4 or 5 cremini mushrooms. And I'll be putting in 3/4 of a cup or a cup of wheat gluten, whatever I have left. I'll try to get it right because I'm running out of wheat gluten. And so maybe a 1/4 of a cup of nutritional yeast, 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, a couple tablespoons of soy sauce, and maybe a 1/4 cup of ketchup, or whatever you want to use for a red coloring and tomato paste kind of stuff. That's what I'm going to be doing. Oh, and some onion powder. Forgot about that. And I think I had some garlic powder, and some onion powder, right? So I'll be putting those in as well. Anyway, let me get the camera angle set up, change around, and I'll be back in a moment. Let's make this happen. Okay, so I said I have about 3/4 of an onion, 3/4 of a whole onion, and I don't know, about 4 or 5 cremini mushrooms that I had chopped up, and just throwing that into the food processor. I was doing this for something else. My wife needed some mushrooms and she barely used them. So I said, well, that's great. I don't have to chop up anymore. So I got those in there. I'm going to be putting in this about 200 grams of, it's like a half a block of extra firm tofu. Be putting that in there. And I'm going to be putting in some nutritional yeast. So as I said, probably a 1/4 cup. Again, I'm doing this for taste, and I want to get that little bit of a cheesiness to it. Now putting that in. And for liquid ingredients, I'll be putting in, go with a 1/4 cup of ketchup, more or less. This is doing it, whatever your taste buds suggest or otherwise suggest. And a couple of tablespoons of soy sauce. And I think I said 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. So my thing is there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons. Should be a 1/4 cup. And let's see what else I got there. I'm going to be putting in some onion powder. Let me just shake some of that in there. Just putting in a nice, I don't know, about a half a teaspoon of onion powder. And some garlic powder. I like garlic. So I'll put in about another half teaspoon, 3/4 of a teaspoon of garlic powder. All right, so that's what I'm going to be putting in there. And I do need to get in my my wheat gluten. So let's get that in there too. Let me just get this off of there. Get this out of the way. And I'm going to be using 1/3 cup measure, but it's probably going to be putting in 2 of these if I got enough to go there. So 1/3 cup, another 1/3 cup. And if necessary, I'll be putting in 1 more. I just want to get the texture and see how that works. Let's get this thing together, see what we got. I'm going to pulse it a little bit first just because I don't want to get all that mist coming off of the wheat gluten. And now just getting it all together. Okay, and just taking a look at that texture. Oh, I like that. That looks good. Well, I'm going to work with that. I'm going to dump it out here on the counter and be back in a moment, and then we'll be adding in some of the, if I need any more wheat gluten, I'll put it in. But I'll be putting this, the extra onions and that Eve's hamburger in there. Back in a moment. Okay, I've dumped out the mix onto this cutting board, and it's pretty liquidy. So I might be adding in some more of the wheat gluten, but I don't know if I'm going to need it. So we'll see in a minute. We'll just play with this a little bit. I am dumping in now about 1/3 of that onion, or 1/4 of the onion, whatever was left of that onion, and half a package of the Eve's meat, or hamburger meat, and just going to mix this together. Try to mix it together, form it into a more consistency, or get it throughout. So I get all of that that shape and texture, because I really want the texture to be right. And that was what I was very concerned about, because I didn't like the texture I had before. So let's just get that all mixed in there. I guess I could have done this a little less, but I wanted to get a feel for it. Don't have to do quite the do it by hand, but I do want to get the feel for it and see if there's more wheat gluten that goes in there. And I think I'm going to want a little bit more, but I'm just feeling it's probably a little worried about it being too chewy. Now I'm just going to mix this up. It's not bad. So I'm going to put in a little bit, just a little bit more wheat gluten. Get that in there. Don't have that much left in there, so let's just, what the heck, how much is that? Yeah, it's probably 1/3 cup. So let's just dump that in. You'd have to go to the bulk barn and get some more wheat gluten. Use it all up. What the heck? All right. And just going to mix that in there now. Knead that in there a little bit. Well, here are the results. I've tried a different, 4 different types of cooking methods just to see what they would turn out like. First was a higher temperature, 390 degrees for about 12 minutes or something like that. And I think that was the one that was like that one. I'm trying to figure it out. It's a little crunchy on the outside. The interior is very nice. It has a nice, what do we call it? It's a nice texture. It's and flavorful. So a higher temperature, shorter time, not bad. Like that. Lower temperature, longer time. I find it's a little bit crunchy, or like it's hard on the outside, because it's it's dried, a little bit dried out on the outside. The inside's fine. That may be more like more of a traditional meatball texture than the first one, but it doesn't have quite this. Anyway, it's fine that way. Third one. Now this was just putting it in the oven at 350 degrees for half an hour. No air frying at all on this one. So it's a little crumbly. It's not quite as, the outside isn't as firm, but the inside has lots more flavor. These are made from the exact same mix. The inside has the most flavor. And then this one, I took that meatballs that I had cooked in the oven, 350 degrees for 30 minutes, and put them in the air fryer at 360 degrees for 5 minutes, just to give them an extra crusty, a little bit more crusty on the outside. And it's got a nice texture on the outside. They're still a little warm because I just took them out. And they have a nice flavor on the inside. So I actually I don't know. I think I like the idea of baking them for about half an hour at 350 degrees and then putting them in the air fryer for 5, 6 minutes at 360 degrees or something like that. But play around with it. Figure out whatever works for you. These are the results. These are just air fried at higher temperature. These are baked and fried. It's the same components. I'm enjoying it. These are good. Now you can cook them. You can serve them any way you like. I did it the other day on spaghetti with some tomato paste or tomato whatever it is, spaghetti sauce on top of it. It was wonderful, really nice, very flavorful. My wife enjoyed it as well. So hey, if she likes it and I like it, then it's a win-win. So this is all really good, relatively easy to make. So that's it for this episode. I think it's episode 34, making meatballs. If you have any questions, you can reach me on my email address up here. Let's see, I get it up there. And it's vrcompanions@gmail.com. And you can also reach me, and please follow me on my YouTube channel. That's www.youtube.com/@the_unorthodox_vegan. Until next time, Sean Gold. This is Sean Gold. Have yourself a great day. Bye for now.